Hey parents, happy Monday. I'm Sarah Bridges and we're going to talk about therapy today. But before we begin, please subscribe and share with any parents who need some tender love and care. I'll share some infant feeding support tips every other Monday, and on the alternate week I'll share parenting tips. I'm a lactation counselor and a postpartum support person, helper. So we're going to begin. Therapy. Does it make you cringe? Thinking about it. There are two main things that kept me from going to therapy. And one that I want to normalize was money. Therapy can be very daunting because it can be pricey and costly. So I didn't have health insurance until last year. So I feel you. I'm going to give you a few tips on ways to navigate that. And I also want to acknowledge that it's a privilege to have the means to go to therapy. Not everyone has that, and I get it. You can ask a therapist that you're looking at if they do a sliding scale fee. Not all of therapists will market this, but a sliding scale fee is they offer to reduce their rate if you are in a financial bind or just need a little extra help in that area. There are also two organizations that hire counselors to do a reduced fee for therapy for people who don't have insurance. One is called BetterHelp. I will link all this information in my description. BetterHelp, my friend used that after she got a divorce and she loved her therapist in North Carolina. And then OpenPath is another one. And they are partners. I think OpenPath works with couples and BetterHelp is individuals, if I remember correctly. The other reason why it took me forever to go to therapy was I didn't think, I guess I told myself it's not that bad. I'd be like, so-and-so has it way worse than me. They should go to therapy. But I don't know. Saying that to myself for 3 years took a toll, and it was, sometimes it's not that bad, and you don't have to have a humongo crisis, and that's why I was like, well, I'm like not suicidal, so yeah, so even if it's not that bad, it's still legitimate to go to therapy. Sometimes you can go if you're not sleeping very well, or you can go if you're not sure which career path to follow, or if you just broke up, or yeah, it might not seem that bad, but it's still something difficult to navigate. And therapists are just, if you have a good therapist, they're good at untangling all those thoughts and helping you. They'll give you language for what you're experiencing, and then you'll get to know yourself better and be able to say it to yourself and in your life what you're experiencing. Give you the language to what's going on. So that's one of my favorite parts of going to therapy. And yeah, and something to keep in mind is you are the boss. So when you go to therapy, it's about you, not your therapist. So be honest. The more honest and raw you are, the more they'll be able to help you. And as long as you have a good relationship with the therapist you're seeing, you'll feel comfortable enough with opening up and being vulnerable so that they can help you. And they can't heal you or cure you or fix you, but they can definitely give you tools to cope with whatever's going on. And the difference between talking to a therapist and your spouse or a friend is therapists are trained in trauma and create a very specific trauma plan customized for you. And they can also because they're not in your family or friend system, they can give you an outsider's perspective that no one else can see, even if your spouse is a therapist. Your spouse can't see because they're in that family bubble with you. So that's something to think about and keep in mind. And I said trauma. You don't have to have experienced trauma to go to therapy. But they do have that lens to help navigate life and stuff. I love Katie Morton. She's a licensed therapist. She's on YouTube. She has a huge following. You can type in any topic and learn more, and she'll help you out. She's very experienced with her clients and seeing clients. Just an amazing, incredible therapist. She's like, you know how Brene Brown's like the researcher, social worker? Katie Morton is like up there with Brene Brown, only she's not the researcher, but she's in there with the people all the time because she's seeing clients. So you can tell she's sitting with many clients and has that experience, that plethora of knowledge. Katie Morton said, what makes a good therapist? So if you do decide to hop in and go to therapy, how can you know if they're like a good fit for you or a good therapist? So she said, number one, make sure they are trustworthy and on your team. So that's where the good relationship between the two of you come into play. Number two, make sure they have healthy boundaries. The therapist isn't bringing in their crap to the session and not making it about them, or they're not allowing you to text to them in the middle of the night or whatever. So boundaries to help you feel safe. And clear communicator is very important. Number four is I already talked about this, but they give you a language to what is going on inside internally. And they can help you come up with a thoughtful treatment plan. So therapy is about you, and you'll bring in, they can help you come up with goals that you want to work towards. Whether it's I want to sleep better, or want to get better at coping with my anxiety, or I want to be better at setting boundaries with my father-in-law, or I'm going to see my relative and we had this happen. So anything, whatever you want to work towards, that goal will help you stay on task with that treatment plan. And a good therapist will check in about progress made. And I know my therapist remembers what I said last week when she said, how are you doing this week? And she's always asking me, how are your grad school applications going? So she'll, their job is to help you stay on task and to monitor your progress. And a therapist they're not there to give you advice and tell you what to do and cure you and heal you, even though that'd be so amazing. But they will assess your mental health, emotional health, and well-being, and they will give you tools to work on things and cope and ask really, really good questions to help you figure things out. It's amazing. So I hope, if you need it, I hope you have the opportunity to go to therapy. And another thing, alternative or in addition to therapy, you can find many support groups with whatever you're dealing with on social media. If you have a child with special needs, if you are a survivor, if you are a divorced parent, a single parent, there's so many support groups online, or if you wanted to create a local one, as long as it's social distancing, you could start that up, but that might be a little more daunting. But online, there's just so much solidarity with whatever you're facing. You can find a group probably for anything. I'm a part of a moms in grad school group, and that's helpful. So I hope this is helpful. Comment below on future topics that you want to be helped with as far as self-care or infant feeding support. And I hope you have a lovely weekend and take care of yourself. Your kids need you to do that. Okay? Okay? Okay. Bye, guys.